guys, I've had a lot of you ask me for a video, vlog, whatever you want to call it, something for the YouTube. Here it is. I've never done anything like this before. I've got my cheat sheet right here. I don't want to forget anything. So let's just dig in. See how bad I can butcher this, y'all. I think I want to open it up by talking about the RPM Act. If you're not familiar with the RPM Act, basically the EPA is trying to come in and say what we can and can't do with our own vehicles. It's eventually going to trickle down, and it's going to affect everybody to a point. Everybody likes to customize their vehicle like the way they want. EPA is trying to shut that down. You give them a little bit, they're going to take a little bit, they're going to take more, they're going to take more, and eventually you're not going to be able to customize your vehicle as you see fit. If you're not real familiar with all the ins and outs of it and whatnot, you know, right now they're kind of going after emissions-based stuff, but it's eventually going to spread, and in my opinion, they're going to make it where you can't do anything to your vehicle. You can't even put bigger tires in your vehicle. You may not think it's going to affect you. You Jeep people, it's definitely going to affect you. That's just my opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Take it as you would like. If you would like to see what they're doing right now, look up on YouTube PFI Speed. They've been up his ass with a flashlight. Visit saveourracecars.com and see what you can do. Thanks for that. Let's continue. Let's get on to the race week recap. So, day one in Noble. It's my first ever race week event. Never done a drag and drive before. The truck is still a fairly fresh build. I didn't get the blower put on it until December. I really didn't turn it up, put the pulleys and the injector in it until I think March, somewhere thereabouts. So it's still all fairly new. The motor is a 5.3 I've been kicking around for a while. The 5.3 that was originally in the truck, it ended up eating a thrust bearing because somebody ran it low on oil and I sucked the pan dry at the track. Remarkably though, on that old engine, all the mains and rods looked good. It just had no thrust left. Still running just fine. I didn't know the thrust was bad until I pulled it out and tore it apart. So there's that. We put roughly triple the miles that engine had on it before I left. Before I left, the new engine had roughly probably 1,200 miles on it. I haven't looked at the trip odometer since I put the motor in, but I probably put almost triple the miles on that thing. We'll just leave it at that. I put 1,800 miles on the truck for race week, and in my opinion, it held together beautifully. During day one, we did have some issues. The first issue was I lost the tail light. I don't know how the hell it happened. After launch, it just fell out. If you look at the replay, you can actually see it fall out. I didn't know it fallen out until I got back in the pits. We got into my pits. I was kind of walking around the truck, just kind of checking things out. And the spectator says, "Hey, you know your tail light's hanging out?" No, I don't. I'll be damned. It is. Let's fix it. It's held on by duct tape right now. One of the tabs broke. How? I don't know. The truck's not that fast. Shouldn't do that kind of stuff, but whatever. My third and last pass at Noble in my burnout, which I didn't realize at the time until I left, I had lost my belt. And I had lost my belt because I had broken one of the tensioner bolts. And I think what happened on that was, I think the tensioner bolts actually backed out and were loose. And with that blower, you know, it's a little hard on the belt drive and stuff. And I think it just kind of whipped around and ended up breaking a bolt. I went back to my pits, kind of assessed everything, and everything looked okay. Just the belt was off, seen the broken bolt. And I thought, well, you know, I could band-aid it enough right now to get me back on the road, get me to a parts store so I could get some bolts. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. The next morning I woke up, drove to Tractor Supply. I think it was in Purcell. They were the only place I could find that was open for 8 a.m. I got 2 bolts back on the road. Later that day, on day 2, we were heading to Texas. We were going to Enos, Texas. I stopped at a place called Bebo's rather. Yeah, Bebo's. It's in Pilot Point, Texas. If you've never been there, check it out. That place is pretty good. It's got all kinds of car memorabilia. They've got a little 57 Chevy sitting up there just beside it. It's got the wheels and stuff turning. It's a really cool place. Check it out. They got really good burgers. Anyway, I left there, got about a mile or 2 down the road, and the truck started pinging. Battery system not charging. What the hell's going on now? Pull over the side of the road, look. Belt is gone. Destroyed another idler bearing. Why? I really didn't know at that point. I just fixed it the best I could on the side of the road. There's little stands that the idler sits on. It ends up eating one of those up, Fortunately, I had my electric grinder with me. I was able to kind of cobble some stuff together, let me down the road, get me to O'Reilly's and get some parts, which I had to further modify, but it got me through the event, and I can't complain about that. Day 3, on the way back, I don't have any notes here on day 3. I feel like it was a fairly uneventful day. I am having some tuning issues. I am not a master tuner. I have built and tuned this truck myself. Nobody's really helped me. I've never tuned anything like this before. I haven't. It's an overdriven blower. I've never done that before. So I expect a little bit, I would expect a few issues, and I ran into a few issues, nothing major. I'm still trying to work on sorting those out, and I am bound and determined to figure it out myself and find out what's going on. So day 3, went to Tulsa. Tulsa went off fairly, you know, without any issues or anything like that. I ended up leaving the track there that night just because I was so close to home, wanted to see the family and spend the night in my own bed, take showers, so I didn't stay too late at the track that night. Day 4, where were we at day 4? But also bear with me here, this is Saturday, this is the day after race week ended. I haven't had much sleep still yet. I got home last night at about 2:30 in the morning, and I didn't go to sleep until about 3:30, and I was back up at 8 o'clock this morning, just kind of wrapping up everything. I turned my U-Haul trailer in, you know, unload the trailer, clean the trucks up, you know, all that good stuff. Kind of catch up on the stuff that I'd missed, you know, throughout the week. Anyway, let's get back on track here. Day 4. Day 4 in Arc City. That was an interesting day. I don't know if you've ever been to Arc City. It's a really cool track. It's an old abandoned airfield, something of that nature. I had a couple of passes there. Both passes went pretty good, you know, as expected. On, I think it was my second pass, and I think it was my last pass actually. The truck performed just like it should have. It was, as soon as it left the line, the locker popped really, really loud about 3 or 4 times in the 60 foot. It didn't sound good. I sent it anyway, because that's just the kind of guy I am. Rest of the pass went great. Truck went straight. I had no complaints there. I got the end shutter down, and the truck died. Wouldn't restart. Didn't know what's wrong. I was sitting in the return road. Track official came by. Hey, you okay? No, I think I need a pull. Well, I got to kind of digging around on it, and I found a battery cable that had broke off the alternator. How it broke, I don't know. It is what it is. I kind of, you know, did what I could, and I was able to make it back to my kits. Put a little bit of bubble gum on it, and I was able to get back on the road and all that good stuff. The next day, I stopped and I fixed it properly. Day 5, I had another idler. Is what it is. During day 4, during my idler pulley issues, I actually reached out to LSX Innovation. I got to give a big shout out to them because they really stepped it up on that. I was blown away by what they did. I didn't know if it was due to the cheap parts that I was using to replace the bearing in their idler pulley setup, or what it was. So I reached out to them, you know, kind of let them know what's going on. You know, hey, I'm on race week. You know, I want to know if I'm using cheap parts, if I'm just being too hard on the truck, or if it's a setup issue. I didn't feel it was their fault. I haven't heard any bad things about their belt drive. In fact, I hear their belt drive for these LSAs are probably the best that's on the market right now. And so far, the only real issues that I've had with it is the idler pulley. Initially, when I put the truck together, I was throwing belts left and right. I got a good tensioner on it, got a good belt on it, and I really haven't had many issues with it since, except for that dang idler pulley. So I reached out to them, let them know what was going on, and they stepped up. They went above and beyond. They asked me where I was at. You know, I'm in Arc City right now. I'm heading to Noble. I'll be in Noble in the morning. So we're going to overnight use some parts. Well, how much do I owe you guys? It's free. It's a warranty. You just bought that stuff back in December. We're going to warranty it. We're going to hook you up. Those dudes are some bad guys right there. That is customer service right there. I woke up, drove to Noble the next morning. One of the other track guys, one of the other racers, unfortunately, was there. That they drove through the night, and they was at the track first thing in the morning. They was able to intercept the package. It's the Meltdown Camaro guy, or the Meltdown Firebird guy. You're awesome. I appreciate you, man. That's badass. But I get the box, and I open it. In this box, they had sent me free and overnighted it 2 new pulleys, 3 bearings, a shirt, and some standoffs. Since I chewed that one up. They really hooked it up and stepped up, went above and beyond. I can't say enough good things about it. I very much appreciate it. So, day 5, I got to the track. Either was making noise. Let's head this off of the pass. Let's put a new one on. They had sent me some new ones, so I just went ahead and just put one of the new ones on. I took the extras and I threw it in my little roll-around toolbox thing that I carry around for the truck. And the rest of the day went pretty well as planned. Day 5 in Noble, my best pass of the day. In fact, it's the pass that bumped me down where I really wanted to be. I ended up clicking off, I think it was a 12:04 pass. I think before that, my average for the week on day 4 was, I think it was around a 12:02. That 12:0 pass knocked me down to, I think I ended up finishing with a 12:17, which was good enough for 12. It's like 4-3 cars. I've never done any index racing before. I've never done anything like this before, so I was pretty proud of myself, but I was more proud of this truck right here than anything else. I beat the brakes off this truck all week. I wasn't easy on it. I had lots of trailer burnouts, just lots of everything, lots of abuse, lots of traffic in Dallas and whatnot. Trying to get around that traffic, I just hammered down, let the truck do what I needed to do. The truck held together great. Where are we at here? Anyway, Rocky Mountain Raceweek went great. I can't say enough good things about it. I can't wait to do it again next year. For Raceweek fam, you guys are the best. Matt Frost and June Allison and the rest of the Raceweek crew, hats off to them. I can't say enough great things about them. I'm a nobody. I was in the 12:0 class, one of the slow guys, and they treated me just like everybody else. I can't wait to do it again next year. I can't wait to see those guys again next year. Lord willing, we'll be there with the truck, and I think actually Kelsey and maybe Jack is going to join me next year. It'll be a lot nicer having the family with me rather than going alone, because I miss them, they miss me. That's just the way it goes. Anyway, I guess that's enough about race week and just kind of that stuff. I think I want to keep this one kind of short for my first one. I don't want to make too big of a fool out of myself here. So let's move on to the truck. I've had a lot of you people ask me about the truck, so let's dig on to the truck. So as you can see, it's just your basic Silverado. There's nothing done inside. There's no racing seats. It's got the full console. These seats they're not the cheap seats. They're heavy. We've got some heat in there too. In the back seat, we've got a speaker box. Who doesn't like to have a good stereo while you're cruising down the highway on race week? I dang sure do. And also an inverter to keep that laptop charged. Let's get to the meat and potatoes here. Oh, I've had a lot of people ask me about this. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people see the truck and they think it's just a stock truck until it wakes up and moves. And people are going, what's that? Hence the personalized plate. What's that? I've had a lot of people ask me what the plate means. Most people know, some don't. Explain it to them, show them the blower. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. And I would agree. It's just a 5.3 LSA blower. I've got a pulley on it, 240. I've got some 90-pound Deutschwerks injectors. We've got just a regular Bosch intercooler pump down there. I don't know if you can see it. It's nothing special. It was cheap. It does okay for what it is. I've got a little Frozen Boost intercooler tank right here. It's, once again, nothing special, but it does help keep her ice down. The engine itself is a 5.3. I pulled it out of a friend's Tahoe probably 4 years ago, roughly. It was victim of the good old 706 Castech head cracks. The LS guys, they most likely know what I'm talking about. The only thing I did is I tore it down, cleaned the block all up, got all the sludge out of it, and basically just threw it back together. I didn't vat it. I didn't do any of that fancy stuff. I pressure washed it, soaked it in degreaser, pressure washed it some more, and just blew it out. I got some pipe cleaners, cleaned out all the oil passages the best I could, and basically at that point just hope for the best. I do have new flat top pistons in here. I swapped to the full floater Gen 4 rods. Flat top Speed Pro pistons. I got the rings gapped, and it has PRC Stage 1 heads from Texas Speed. Let's see if we can get that PRC in there. Yeah, maybe not. Too dark. Sorry, dudes. PRC stage 1 heads. I had some 243s that I had just, been kind of kicking around. I put those in a box, sent them to Texas Speed, and in less than 2 weeks' time, I had my heads and cam back. That is an insanely fast turnaround time. Double valve springs, of course. I've got the Cletus McFarlane boost cam in it. Everything seems to work really, really well. Behind the engine is this pretty well stock 4L80E with a HD2 shift kit. I was a little under the influence of alcohol when I did the shift kit, unfortunately, and I drilled out the 1-2 separator plate passage a little bit too much. The 1-2 shift in this thing is pretty gnarly. If you decide to drill your HD2 kit out bigger, don't do it. I don't recommend it. We're using a Circle D budget 3200 converter. It works pretty darn good. In the rear, we've got some 430 gears with a Detroit TrueTrack, which is currently packing its bags. Can't imagine why. I was pretty easy on the truck. Ha ha ha. Anyway, all that stuff's got about 25,000 miles on it, so it is what it is. It's seen lots of burnouts, lots of donuts. I guess that's about it. Just a really fun truck. Can't wait to do it again. I think tomorrow night we're probably going to go to the drags and see if we can't dip into the 11s with it finally. We hunted 11s pretty hard with it earlier this year, and it didn't want to do it with the old engine. I anticipate with this new engine we get some good weather coming in, some low DAs, and I would fully expect it to easily lean over to the 11s and hopefully bust off some mid 11s, but that might be a little bit too ambitious. Well, I guess I kind of skipped over the fuel system there, so let's talk about the fuel system. We've got a cheap Chinese regulator. Nothing special. I think it was 30 bucks on Amazon or eBay, one of the two, I don't remember. Being cheap, I went ahead and ordered two. Threw in my spare parts bag. This truck is on E. I've got a flex fuel sensor wired in. We've got the stock, you really can't see it, got the stock P59 computer control and everything, and it does okay. There's some days that I am ready to jerk it all out and just put it on a Holly, but I don't want to make this truck into a full-fledged race truck. I want to be able to drive it, just kind of whenever, and I want everything to work like it's factory. But we'll see how that goes. I guess we're going to hit the fast forward button again. We went to the transmission a while ago, and I kind of jumped back to the fuel system, so let's go to the rear end. In the rear, I've got or hell, I already talked about the rear end. I don't know. Bear with me, guys. It's been a long day. But I think we're going to go ahead and conclude this little rambling episode, and hopefully next time I can give you guys a little bit better of a speech. Maybe not. Probably not. I don't know. I'm not very good at this sort of thing. I reckon we're just kind of learn as we go. If you guys got any questions or want to know anything else, let me know. This banner right here, fellas, was very, very, very hard earned. This drag and drive stuff looks easy, but it's not. It's really not. It's hard. It was hot. Anyway, till next time, we'll see you guys later. How do you turn this thing?